back to Nowhere Fast Garage, and we are here in Delaware with my dad for the much anticipated follow-up on the GTO video. The video I posted a little while back, originally I was not making it for a YouTube channel. I didn't have a YouTube channel then, and it was just really for myself. So I posted it and it got more interest than I thought it would, and it got a lot of comments and questions. So I figured we'd just go over some of the questions that people have been posting before the thunderstorm rolls in. So some people were asking about how the car has not been restored. They don't believe it's not restored. So can you tell us, Dad, what you have actually done to it over the 56 years you've owned it?
Okay, basically, I know a lot of the viewers asked, why don't I get on the car as far as burning rubber? I guess maybe there are probably two reasons why. First of all, I'll chuckle about this, it's my age. Okay, I don't really go around tearing up the streets, never mind doing it in a 56-year-old car where the heads have never been off the motor. It has the original transmission. The intake manifold and the carburetors have been removed. Carburetors have been rebuilt. I have a very good friend on Long Island who also advertises in Hemmings. His name is Larry Isgrow, and he really is great in rebuilding carburetors, whether it's Ford, Chrysler, or General Motors. The intake manifold did come off because I wanted to paint it, and the reason why is I wanted to paint it because a lot of the viewers would ask, how come the engine is not really dirty? I went to car shows for 38 years, and detailing an engine is almost like a must when you go to a car show. Otherwise, you probably could just leave it the way it was.
So what did you do? So you taped off and resprayed the,
yes,
the blue engine paint, yes, while it was in the car?
Right. Duplicolor makes up the color. It's a Pontiac blue. They use from 59 to 65. It's like a powder blue, and that's the color that the engine was painted when it came from the factory. I did do some detailing under the engine. As you can see, there's no rust, but basically the car was really garaged pretty much the entire part of its life.
So you painted the did you paint the fender wells?
Yes. Yeah,
and the firewall?
Firewall, I don't think I did. I really don't think that I did.
And what did you use? Just like Eastwood, Underhood Black, or something like that, or Rust-Oleum?
I would recommend SEM.
SEM trim paint? Okay.
Right. SEM trim paint. Napa carries
trim
it.
Black, yeah.
And I just thought it did a good job without, you know, taking the whole car apart.
So these are the original carburetors.
Yes, they are.
They've just been rebuilt.
Right.
And somebody asked about what happened to the air filters.
Okay, I do have the foam ones, the Ames reproduction. I only put them on when I go to car shows. Now, again, I went for 38 years. Once the China virus came around, I stopped going. And also, too, I've got so many trophies, which Anthony could probably take a picture of.
You just don't need
I don't need any more trophies, and it's a matter of standing there 5 hours waiting for a trophy. Anyway.
So this still has the original distributor with the points?
It's points. It's
right,
not Pertronics or anything like that.
Okay.
In fact, the radiator is original to the car, which is amazing. That
it never leaked?
It never leaked.
Wow.
It never did. Yes, I replaced the hoses. Yes, these are the General Motors reproduction. Right. Our radiator hoses. And of course, this Delco battery is really not a Delco battery. It's it's re-encased, and it's an Optimum battery inside. If you take off the caps, you can actually see the Optimum battery. Also, I like to give a plug to the gasoline.
Okay.
I do not use pump gas in this car. I go with the VP Racing gasoline. It's 110 octane and it's leaded.
Okay, so people were asking too, about what gas you use, because the heads have never been redone,
right,
to work with the unleaded gas.
Right. They rely on that carbon buildup, I guess you could say, to protect the valves. So in this case...
Yeah, we're good. Just making a video. Thanks.
In this case, again, I give a plug to them because their gasoline I was told it's good for 2 to 3 years shelf life.
It doesn't go bad like the
Does
ethanol
not
gas.
go bad, like the crappy gas you put in your everyday car.
So you can see when you get up close, there's little chips from driving on the road, little stone chips. The grills are original, right?
Yes, they are. They've never been off the car.
The bumper is original?
Yes, it is. Well,
Re-chromed?
it has been re-chromed. I will admit that it has been re-chromed.
It had some scrapes and
Yes.
things, right?
It is the original bumper to the car.
And you got the original T3 headlights.
Yes.
I think I remember you didn't always have them.
Right.
We went to a junkyard in Jersey when I was little, and we found them.
Right, before
There was tons of them at the
Yep.
time. I don't remember the junkyard.
It was probably in the early 80s.
we were talking 30 years ago,
Right.
at least. But we found them and they still work.
The red line tires were put on about 2 years ago. It's the U.S. Royal Reproduction tires. I got them at Universal Tire. They're in Elizabethtown,
But it did. We
Pennsylvania.
saw in the old pictures it did come with the red
It
striped
originally
tires.
had red line tires.
Yep.
Yes.
And it originally came with the small hubcaps.
Yes, the dog dish hubcaps, which now it seems people have gone back to those.
And the steel wheels, were they painted black from the factory
they
or
were-
body
no,
color?
they were blue.
They were blue.
They actually matched the color of the car.
Which is Fontaine blue?
Yes.
Oh, another question I get a lot. People say that the paint on the door doesn't match.
It doesn't.
Do you know if that's
Well, I
something
will also
happened there?
have to admit that the sides were repainted from the stripe down many, many years ago, probably in the late 70s or early 80s, with lacquer paint.
which is the original type
Right,
of
it's
paint?
not clear coat, base coat. I had a friend at the time who owned a body shop, and he did do the paint work. If you see up here, you can see some of the
original.
original
This
paint.
is
that's-
original paint on the roof, and it's a little worn.
Right.
There's a
it's
scratch
worn.
up here,
Right. There is a scratch up on the top.
and around the window it's not rotted, but you could see it got wet at some point.
Typical GM body of the time.
Trunk lid is original paint.
Yes, yes it is. In fact, there's another. If your viewers look close,
There's a little scratch
there's
here.
a scratch right over there, and there's a paint chip here.
It's not perfect.
No, this is not a perfect car.
But you know what? It doesn't, to me, it doesn't even matter because it's mostly original. And that to me is more interesting than a car that somebody completely blew apart and
Restored.
from bare metal up.
Right, or did a frame off.
Right. Same thing on this side, right?
Yes.
They had the paint down from the stripe down.
Right, they were repainted in the late 70s or early 80s.
You got some
know exactly.
dings or some little rust spots or something. Wasn't there like a rust spot down at the bottom of the fender?
There was on the
other side?
Yeah, but now that's gone too.
And Jim welded in a metal patch, right?
In a patch panel. So maybe some people might argue and say, well, it's not, you haven't touched the car in 56 years, so it's not original. But this is probably as close as you could probably get without restoring the car.
Yeah. And the interior is mostly original also?
It is.
Correct?
No, it all is. The headliner is too, if you wanted to show everybody.
Headliner is original?
Got the original headliner.
It's in great condition. It's not like the modern ones where they dry out and fall down. Dash is original. Original steering wheel.
Yes.
And the seats, all the
They've
seat,
never been reupholstered.
the vinyl's all
Right, it's all
original.
original vinyl.
Oh, another question. So how many miles are on the car?
59,902 miles.
Oh, you're almost at 60.